Hi, everybody. My name is Jane, and I am your instructor for art and activism. So first off, welcome. And I think, well, so far people have said they've really gotten a lot out of this class. It's not an easy class, and that's been hard for some people. So that's the first thing. And you're going to be working on a project, and it's pretty demanding that you work on the project. So I've been doing these kind of early conversations with you guys so people are kind of prepared and kind of getting in gear to start your project. So basically your project is going to be, this class is about activism. So what we're asking you to do is create a project on something, an issue or a social justice issue that you feel passionate about. And I think that, and I think I've said this before, but this is a safe place to be. You guys don't have to worry about, everybody gets to have their opinion. Nobody has to have anybody else's opinion. Nobody has to agree. We can agree to disagree. So that's the thing about this class. This is about creating a project, not about winning a propaganda war or a war on an issue. It's about making a project about something you feel, using your visual art to express yourself. That's your voice, is what you come up with, and that's what we're interested in seeing. And I think that art, that's, I think the best way to get a point across is through art, because think about it, every time I see someone on a soapbox, I stop listening. So think about how you can make your project visually speak all the things that you want to say about this issue that you're passionate about. So that's the bottom line. So your project is a lot of your grade, and your journal is actually even more of your grade. So you're going to have to keep a journal that you write in every day. And I think there's some, oh no, I think I took them off. Basically, your journal is sort of your roadmap to your project. It's to do with your project and not to do with your project. It's about coming around to this issue that you're thinking about, and it's basically your process. It's building a map that got you from the beginning to the end. So I actually want to show you some journals, and I'm probably not going to do it in this video. I'll probably do it in another video because I don't actually have those journals pulled up, but I wonder if there's a way to pause this. I don't want to try to do that. So I'll do another video at some point to show you some of the journals from the last class that were so good. So your journal, let's just go down there. Here it is. It's going to emphasize art making as a process. You'll spend the entire class creating a daily journal. Daily is the key word. Okay. And here's the big thing is that this journal that we're going to do is going to be 50% of your grade. Looky there, 50 points. So the thing that I want you to remember about a lot of these, about your grades, is that it's really tough to grade based, okay, until the end of the semester, because you're going to turn in your journal and your project. So, but we're keeping along. So what I'm going to do in your grading is when I grade, for example, your checkpoint, you're going to have a checkpoint. Let me get to that. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to confuse you guys, but I will explain grading in a very brief minute. Let's just get through this. So you're going to be doing discussion questions. Those are in every module already there for you, but they're also going to go into Slack. And if you see on Tuesday when you wake up and you don't see your discussion question, feel free to get in there in that module and copy it and put it into Slack so people can get going. Because I usually get that done on Tuesday, but I'm not a time person. I don't get it done exactly at that time. I would say I am a detail person and I can get persnickety about stuff, but that's not one of my persnickety things. So feel free to do that if you want to. Otherwise, I'll be getting each discussion question in there at some point on Tuesday and at some point on Thursday. So then on you're going to have a midterm check-in, but basically we're just going to be making sure all your work is turned in so far and up to the midterms. So that's basically your midterm check-in. If you did your work up to the midterm, you get 5 points. All right. So, and here is your final portfolio is 20 points, and your presentation project. You're basically just going to create a video that highlights one or more artists in a specific module that you found interesting, and you have a place in Slack to put that in. So you're going to find another, you'll also find another artist that you feel is making art related to that specific module. Just make sure that your artist has academic integrity. That means that they have conceptual work and that and academia would accept them as their work as valid. Okay. So, and then you just upload your video, and then in the videos, and that's a 10-point presentation project. So your final portfolio journal is in journal presentation is 20 points. So basically your final project, which is always going to be your project that you're working on. The only thing that's going to differ from your journal and your final project is this presentation project. And that's just a little something to make sure you're looking at artists and also help each other with artists. Okay, so all assignments have to be submitted to the designated area of Canvas. Do not email them to me. Do not do it. Do not, please do not. I'm going to be teaching clay classes in Lubbock all day on every day during our June, I'm not seeing an email for 2 or 3 days. I will be looking at Slack a lot. So I'll try to be looking at it daily, and I'll try to look at my emails every 24 hours, but you know how summer gets, so things can get really busy. So I do not want you to think about emailing me your assignments. You need to put them in Slack under assignments. Okay. This is about late assignments. Okay, see how that says big, bold? Do not, it says notify me before an assignment is due. If an urgent situation arises, A, you're dead. B, you have a serious illness and you can prove it if asked. C, if you're in the military and you have to do something with that. Those are the only reasons I'm going to accept anything late. So you kind of remember that, and not, it's a very, very bad idea in a class this fast to get behind. You just got to chip away this thing and get going on it. But this is such a fun class, so I'm not too worried about it. I think you're going to really like it. And then the reading material is really good. And look, the only required reading that you're doing Art and Activism workbook. And that is a really fun workbook to go through. And you're just reading it. I'm not having you turn anything in from it, because I'm using the discussion questions from the book so that I know that we're getting the benefit of the book. So if you never look at it, I mean, I'll be sad, but it's not going to affect your grade. But you are going to be required to read the book stamped. And so that one and these little reading things that I put in here, but they're not literally there's not a lot of that. It's not crazy. And I think you're really going to enjoy that book stamped. I'm telling you, it is a great book. I like the audio personally, but I want you guys to do whichever one you want and feel good about it, because it's a really great book. And don't be paranoid about critical race theory. It's getting all this bad publicity in the southern states, and I live in the worst of those places, which is Texas. So just let go of all of that and listen to what this guy has to say and see what you think. I mean, it is a great book, and I want to have a conversation about it at some point in our course. All right, so it's possible something could change. I want you to realize that, all right? And that's the other thing with the syllabus. So that's the syllabus. Now, your first module, what you're going to be doing first is you're going to go through module 0 and look at all the stuff that I got to put that stamped in there, and I will. And then module 1. The rest of these are going to be closed, and I'm going to open them. You're 2 weeks ahead. So next week I'll open 2. So you're going to have these 2 weeks ahead, but I want you thinking about these modules and by the way that they, at the time that we're on them. I don't want you thinking ahead, because you have a project that you're chipping away at, and then we're gonna have all these other things going on in our classroom. That's just sort of like a support system for what your project you're doing with your project, basically. So every week I'm going to have Tea Talk with Jane. This one, you're going to be able to access these videos. And because it's summer, it may prove harder to get live guests for my classroom. But I've already reached out to a few people. So hopefully so they're all teachers, so they probably won't want to do it, but still, hopefully I'll be able to get some, and I'm reaching out to other people as well. So hopefully we'll have plenty of guest stars for that, and those are live Zoom talks that you can attend, but they also are recorded, so then you can access it later. All right. So then that's all I'm going to say for right now. I want to say welcome to the class, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So, and this is a place, like I said, you get to think outside the box and you get to have an opinion. And the one rule that we're going to have is that we're not going to try to make anybody believe anything. We're going to be able to express our idea through our visual art. And we're going to remember that we're going to appreciate our differences, even if there's something that we really, really don't agree with. So, and with the things as volatile as they are now, I mean, it's going to be hard for some of us, or you or me or any of us. You know, there may be conversations that we're just going to go crazy on, but if you stick with the discussion questions, they're designed to let us open our minds and be have access to somebody else's situation. So jump in here, fasten your seatbelt. It's going to be a great class, and I can't wait to get to meet each and every one of you. All right, thanks guys, bye.